RWP is brought to you by Porch Beer Entertainment.
But this guy also, I forgot to ask, hey, where do you live? Because, what if I do find it? And, I'm sorry, this is the first time I've ever seen you.
Then it's going to become your own, and it's going to be Tilly, too.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, remember the Lost Dog episode of the Random Word podcast?
When I helped rescue that dog?
That was incredible. If you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to that, because that was... and actually, I put it in the best of where I kind of cut up the audio. So, yeah, you should go back and listen to that, because that was a saga.
There's some. I think Abby had some old pictures too from it. But
yeah, we put a picture up on the Instagram.
We got the dog. I helped the police guy and corner it, and we got it. And that lady was just so disinterested. In the fact that her dog was just on the lam. No,
you saved a life that day.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
That's what I could think of. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, we are back on the deck. So that means it's gonna be porch beer weather.
We're getting there, because what Northern Virginia loves to do though is hey, did you enjoy this 60-degree weather? Yeah. Well, guess what? Here comes 20 degrees. Everything's frozen.
That's true, because it does go, and I think I even think tomorrow's supposed to be 70, and then the
tomorrow's
next
supposed
day,
to be incredible.
It's supposed to be back to 45, and that's going to be your day off tomorrow. So the papers are flying. We didn't think of this. This was the one part. It was this is nice weather.
It was just nice weather, so I was we'll just do it outside. Let's do it outside.
We didn't realize that it's a tsunami. Well, tsunami is probably not the right term. It's a hurricane. The thing went up and down. Did you see that?
Well, yeah, we don't have a base for it yet.
So this thing could fly away.
Oh, you know what happened last year when we were in Manassas? It was really funny because I took a Snapchat of this happening.
Yeah.
Because I was oh, it's so windy out there. It was during the crazy.
Dude.
Oh my God. Oh, that's funny.
Maybe I should hold it between my feet.
I took a video. It was during the crazy windstorm, where it was picking up trash cans and throwing them, and I remember taking a Snapchat, and then in the Snapchat I went, oh no, the umbrella's still open, and you see it get carried up,
oh no,
and out of view, and it went over top of the house. So I go, and so I start running, and I get to the other side of the house, and I open up the door, and so we have a glass door right in front. And the umbrella drops out of the sky onto the front. I'm so lucky that it didn't hit a car.
You gotta tie this down.
It's insane.
Don't you have rope?
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do.
What are you gonna do? Now there's no danger of the umbrella flying away. Which would be really awkward.
So I think I'm gonna try to find. I feel like I took a snapshot of it actually getting carried away, and then I closed it obviously because I was but it just slammed out of the sky and broke. It broke all over the place, all over our front steps.
Yeah.
And it could have just easily hit a car or demolished something.
I like that. I told you the story about how I was blown away by the wind as a little kid when we were in the line, and the wind just picked me up and took me away, and the teacher had to grab me. It was like I was flying away to Neverland, and they were like, "Did anybody ask these kids if they wanted to go to Neverland?" When not the Michael Jackson Neverland. That's a different Neverland. I meant but the Peter Pan, because there was 5 or 6 kids in that family. What if there was one of the kids that was hey, I'm fine here actually. I like this place.
I don't really remember. I haven't seen it in a while, but I don't really remember the context either of were they living a tough life?
Well, the weird thing was Peter Pan, I think, was an older man that was trapped in a young man's body.
Well, and he was 32 or something.
And the girl was
age,
and the girl was 12. And Wendy.
They were into each other.
Wendy, and then there was Tinkerbell, where you're not really sure what's going on there. That's almost like a weird fetish thing as well. But I was just wondering, because I think the story we could be completely wrong, but I think the story went they all went to Neverland with Peter.
Yeah, well, he came to their window.
It was multiple kids.
It was hey guys, you want to escape from these adults and never grow up?
Yeah.
And they were yeah, why not?
Yeah, that sounds.
And they all just
awesome.
Took turns flying through the sky.
You know where you can never grow up? On this island where there's pirates and alligators. It's
where people actually died too. I think the real story is pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
And I remember the live action movie they made a really long time ago
with Robin Williams.
Yes.
As Peter Pan.
Was that? Yeah, no, yeah, that was one. And remember that Mohawk kid?
Yeah.
Died.
Yeah.
He got stabbed, straight up murdered.
But then it's like Robin Williams was Peter Pan in that,
and he was a grown ass man.
Yeah.
He was Robin Williams. Just.
Yeah. And they were kids, and they took them away, and then like the parents came home from work, and were just like, "Where'd our kids go?"
With
they didn't even leave a note. But I'm saying, like, what if one of the children was like, "Hey, I don't want to. I'm fine with how I am right now. I'm actually, on a good track at school. I could probably get a good job, and I don't need to go to your little ranch." And then Michael Jackson's like, "Ee." And then that documentary. Did you watch that documentary? We watched all 6 parts of the R. Kelly documentary, which was disturbing to say the least.
Oh, the R. Kelly one?
Yeah, we watched the R. Kelly one. Is that a what noise? What animal makes that noise?
You look like you're expecting it
like
to
a
come out of the
pterodactyl.
sky.
That was a weird noise.
That was a geese.
So just real quick before we start the show, some housekeeping. We have this is episode 29. We'll be doing 30 next week, and then
no. 30 is the best of.
No, because the best ofs cover like the first best of was episodes 11 through 20.
Oh,
and then this will be 21 through 30.
I thought this was the season 3 finale.
Season finale is next week. And then the week after that is when we release the best of and we do the extra bonus content.
Wouldn't it make more sense to do... No, wouldn't it
because it's 1 through 10
right.
the first best of, and then 11 through 20. It's not going to be 11 through 19. That doesn't make any sense.
Why not, man? Well, not 11 through 19. It would be 21 through 29.
Yeah, that doesn't
and that's
make
fine.
Any sense. No, we can't make that decision now. We've
Why
already
not?
decided because it's already timed up.
Yeah, but in the show notes it says season 3 finale of the RWP.
You wrote the show notes.
Let's look back on our favorite moments.
No, we're doing.
What were your favorite moments of the show, Ben?
That's a great question. Probably like the first episode, and then since then.
First episode because we thought it was so good, and we were like, guys, we've obtained it.
Yeah, and
we can't ever fly this close to the sun again.
And then we showed some of our friends and are like, yeah, we like this a lot too. And then it was like, oh, this is going to really take off. And then it's kind of stayed at that.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, we have grown a pretty good audience at this point. More people listen.
We're getting close to 2,000 downloads, I think, at some point, right?
Yeah, it's getting there. And people are. It's funny though, because like when I'll talk to like if I'll see like my cousins or something like that, they know about the show through social media. They don't listen, but then they'll ask about it, and I just feel weird talking about the show because it's just like it's not that it's impressive, but it's not that impressive. We're not like talking about like politics or like solving problems on the show. It's kind of just you and me, just doing this.
But people have taken enough
what our
time
best of should be
to download it and actually kind of whether they listen or not. It's something for us, I guess.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah,
and it's entertainment. Again, my sister will download it like she'll like listen to it like 3 times.
She might
be the most loyal rando.
She could be the number 1 rando.
She's in the running. I think when we do get to like episode 50, we should do a best rando competition and like pick like 3 possible candidates and then like let them kind of interview on the show to fight out.
That would be fun.
We can quiz them and stuff like that.
Or they have them submit resumes, fake resumes.
Ooh, that's true.
Or like or an essay or something.
That would work. Yeah.
And the prompt is like why you deserve the title number 1 rando, and then the winner will actually like go get something printed and laminated as like an official membership card.
Yeah, I would pay for that.
It would be 0001 Rando Nation.
Let's do it.
Member ID.
I'm fine with that.
That'd be pretty fun.
That'll be episode 50, so that will be, a couple years from now, you think? We've been missing shows so much. Did you see Mandy call us out on social media saying, oh, it's 2 shows missed? Okay, I'm sorry, Mandy. We have lives, and some people get sick, all right? You've never once emailed the show, so you don't deserve to talk. You're never going to be number 1 rando. I mean, she seemed really nice. So
those are fighting words.
I'm not trying to be.
She's a very nice person.
Yeah, she seemed like she was really nice. Her and her husband at your wedding. I met them.
Oh, her and her husband.
And they live in Florida, which is incredible.
Were texting me, and Logan, her husband, like called me out and was like, so when I talked about how I got stung by a stingray, he's like, no way that happened. And
really?
I was like, Logan, it happened. I promise you. And he's like, no, dude. And I was like, I mean. So it's like it's not on the Steve Irwin level because like he got stung in the heart.
In the heart, yeah. You didn't die.
I got stung in the foot twice.
Yeah, I think that happens. Like when you go to the aquarium, I think they're like, if you like touch the stingray enough, it may accidentally sting you, and then you like just go home.
Oh, you don't just go home.
Well, you don't go. I mean, if you're a kid, you go home.
Right.
They take you home. I don't mean as an adult. As a grown man, I'd be like, take me home.
No, just because like it's just a really specific way you have to get the poison out, and you just have to heat it up so that the enzymes break down.
Because pee is warm.
It needs to be like scalding hot water.
Pee.
Yeah, I pee scalding hot water too.
Yeah, have you
I'm
ever
glad that's not weird.
Drank like warm coffee and then
and it comes right out warm?
Yeah.
Like that, like a Yeti cooler? Your body's a Yeti cooler?
2 weeks from now, we're going to be doing the chicken challenge. I hope you're prepared for that.
It's going to be really hard on my colon.
That's why I couldn't do it this Friday, because I have to broadcast the next day. And I was like, I told Abby, I was like, there's no way I can do that broadcast.
To try to prep for it, so we went and got sushi. So I like I'm getting a lot better with spicy, but it's nowhere near
you understand,
some
this
of you guys.
Code red, code blue. Like I have to sign these out. Like I have to sign my name on something in order to
sign out
a
sandwich. Like, yes, excuse me, here. I'm here for the.
You have to sign the wall.
And code blue, and they insert like a special. I like to imagine that the two people at the register both have a key, and they look at each other, and they insert the key at the same time, and then turn. Yeah. And then like this case opens up, and they hand you the sandwich.
And they have to prick your finger, and you have to sign in blood.
Right.
That would be. That's what's going to happen. 2 weeks. Prepare yourself. I don't think you're going to be able to handle it, man.
No, because I went and we got so I always get spicy tuna, spicy salmon sushi, and we went to this little tiny it looks like a hole-in-the-wall sushi place, but inside it's like super modern.
I like that phrase, hole-in-the-wall, because like, what if it literally was just a restaurant where they hand you the food like through this tiny little hole?
Just a greasy bag sticks out.
You have to like fold up the dollar bills and like stuff them in through the wall. It's a real hole-in-the-wall
Like, it doesn't look like a lot from the outside, but you go in there, it's like this really small place.
Sure.
But like they've got like authentic, all types of ramen, sushi, Japanese dishes. And we got the spicy tuna.
People.
Yeah, we got the spicy tuna. And normally spicy tuna it's amazing. And this sushi was really good. It was just very spicy. But the guy put sriracha and this other hot sauce over top of it. And I was like, that looks like a tasty sauce. And I ate it, and I was like...
You got to understand, man. It's going to be tough. Like, I'm getting it tomorrow after work, Woo Boy, just like for myself, like for enjoyment.
Get the code blue.
And I get the level 2, which is so it goes no heat, level 1, level 2, level 3, code red, code blue.
How much are these sandwiches? I gotta get a Venmo.
Well, I don't think we'll do. So I'm gonna actually reach out to them when we get closer, and I'm actually gonna explain what we're doing and see if we can just get like tenders of each kind, like a box of one of each.
We'll plug them, yeah.
Yeah,
it's free advertising for them.
Yeah, so I'll reach out. So that's gonna be in a couple weeks. So again, the way it's gonna work is episode 29 tonight, 30 next Thursday, then the best of the week after that. But that week you'll get the best of and some bonus content because we'll be filming on Friday.
Bonus.
What do you say we start this thing? How would you like to start the show? It's been a while, man. You got to flex your start show muscles a little bit. Do you have any good phrases that are ready to go?
Hit the switch, bitch.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then it just fades right into it.
Sure, okay.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Kid, I've flown from one side of this galaxy to the other. I've seen a lot of strange stuff.
Arise, fighters of Theater! Spears shall be shaken! Shields shall be splintered! A sword day! A red day! Where the sun rises!
Broadcasting from the porch or the basement or whatever realm hasn't banished them yet. It's the Random Word Podcast with your hosts, Ben and Salty Dalton.
Welcome
in, Rando Nation.
Hey, I see what it's like on the other side,
yeah. But you could go whatever you want.
Hey, Rando Nation.
Hey, Rando Nation.
Welcome into another episode of the Random Word Podcast with your host, Ben and Salty Dalton behind the microphones. This is episode 29. Not the season finale. I received incorrect information.
You were completely wrong.
Yes. So there will be one more before our best of episodes. Yeah. And I'm not really used to doing the intro, so you can take over.
Oh, okay, perfect. So yeah, we didn't do a show last week because I was sick and dying. It
was weird though because like I just kept getting like pictures from Abby of you doing like outdoor stuff.
Sure,
active stuff. So
exactly.
I just didn't know why you were lying.
Now the only thing
just
about
say you
that
didn't want to do the show.
No,
because I never want to do.
No,
the show.
I wanted to. I know it's great having Thursday off, but no,
it was actually low.
Well, for you it was good. I was literally sick and dying.
Yes, but
because the best part is I still got my sandwich in on that Thursday, because it was Sandwich Thursday. So I got my sandwich, and then about an hour after the sandwich, I was like, no, I'm starting to get sick. So then I went home, and then I was out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, the weird thing is, though, and we may have talked about this, but you know how when you're sick, you watch things that you normally, like on Netflix and stuff, that you normally, if you weren't sick, would watch? Like your mind kind of puts you in this weird state. Like, for example,
I think it's like you just kind of... Because, like, if I'm ever just scrolling through Netflix or Hulu and I'm just like, hey, I don't have the time to watch that. Yeah. Or, like, this doesn't seem like something I should be watching right now. But when you're sick, you're just like, it's me, this couch, and whatever.
Because you have nothing but time. So you, like, throw on, like, I'll watch, like, a forensic show, like Forensic Files, where they're, like, weeding through, like files for forensics.
Just files,
and then,
filing cabinets, that's the whole show. And
then the other thing is, like, so MasterChef, the cooking show, has a...
It's incredible.
It is. No, it's great.
Did you watch MasterChef Juniors?
Top Chef's better. So that's what I was about to say.
MasterChef Juniors is a work of art.
Has a show called MasterChef Juniors where it's just children, which is like, normally I wouldn't, as a 26-year-old man, normally children cooking wouldn't be in my wheelhouse, but when you're sick, suddenly I'm invested
binge watching,
in Brittany as she is cooking her souffle, and I'm like, is she going to make it in 60 minutes? And she's 12. And you're just like, you're really invested in these characters.
Gordon Ramsay's so good with those kids.
He's great, which is funny because he's such a dick.
Dick to adults who should know better, I guess. Yeah. But like, it's just because like we went through a phase where we watched all the Kitchen Nightmares and all the ones where he goes in and turns around the business, or like.
No, but the thing with the MasterChef Junior though is, it got me thinking about this today, is the fact that. So those kids like participate on the show, but they still have to go back to like school and eat the shitty, like cafeteria lunch. So like they'll be sitting at the lunch table being like, yeah, last week I was cooking like foie gras for Gordon Ramsay. And, and then they're like, okay, great. Well, now I'm going to give you a little
square pizza,
and a little cheese cup. and like, because they all still, and then also other kids aren't really impressed by those cooking abilities. Like, think about it. Like, would you be impressed in like 4th grade if some kid was like, oh, I can sear a steak?
The impressive thing about that would be like if I saw them on TV and I'd be like, oh my God, they're on TV, and I'd be like, oh, cooking's kind of cool.
But like the cooking skill in general is not interesting for other children.
If I was 6 and someone came up to me, maybe like 8, I think they're closer to like 8 or 9. Yeah. If they came up and was like, oh, I'm super good at cooking, I made all these souffles, and they're saying all these hard like risottos, and I'd be like, I'm gonna go play outside.
All I want is mac and cheese and like playing Fortnite. Like, I don't care about your souffle. It's interesting, but like when you're sick, so it was funny because I showed Abby.
Is that where you watched all those documentaries, like the R. Kelly? And
no, we watched those separately. But I showed Abby when she got home from work. I showed her like the Hulu like recently watched shows, and it was like I watched like 45 minutes of The Voice.
Voice?
Yeah, like
why?
Because I'm sick. And then like 30 minutes of like MasterChef, like half an episode of like CSI, which I've never watched in my life. Like when you're sick, you're just watching the weirdest stuff. So that's what I was doing. Like all Friday I was just in bed, quarantined, kind of working, but mostly watching TV. I didn't want to burn a vacation day, so I was working from home, which I did. I did do for most of the day, and then I was like, I need to not do this because I'm dying.
We used to call it wiggling the mouse, and it's every time the screen starts to go dark, you wiggle the mouse, because we have like an online communicator app.
Sure.
So now it's like Skype for Business, but it literally will tell you if they're online or if they're away, which means they haven't touched a computer in a couple of minutes. Yeah. So like, you wiggle the mouse.
Because I think I sneezed more that weekend than I've ever sneezed in my life. It got to the point where every sneeze hurt because your body, because you know when you sneeze, your muscles like contract and stuff.
Yeah.
So my muscles of the little of that I have were so worn out from so many sneezes that literally it was towards the end there. It was like every single sneeze just hurt me inside. It was just like it hurts so bad.
It would be such an interesting concept if like people use that, because like people do like electrostimulation of the muscles to make them contract without actually going to the gym. Mm-hmm. And it'd be funny if they did one based on sneezing. Like, welcome to the Peppa Gym.
Back that up. So you're saying I can just shock my muscles and not go to the gym?
Theoretically, yeah. Because when you administer a stimulative shock, like your muscles contract. Okay. And so there's like machines that go in your abs. Sometimes they're for rehab. But so there's been some, like, I'm surprised you haven't seen it. You slap it on your abs, and it just shocks your abs continuously and makes them contract. So they're getting a workout without you going anywhere.
That sounds incredible. Why aren't we all doing that?
I don't think it works that well. That's just it.
I think I can make it work well. Has it not worked well because they aren't using it on fat enough people? Because I'm guessing this pretty in shape people are the ones that they're using it on. And it's like,
maybe.
Well, this isn't working. So we should try that. We have to actually do the show here. What's the word? Wait, hold on. I got to play. Wait, what are we doing? This is the Random Word Podcast, episode 29. I didn't intro anything. Episode 29. This is the show.
But I
you know the drill.
I said it was episode 29.
Yeah, you said
earlier.
Yeah, it's 29, by the way. 30 is next week.
29.
The way this show works, again, as you know, is we're going to give a word, a definition. Salty Dalton has it prepared. We'll do a little discussion. Then we'll move on to fun stuff. There's sponsors.
Yeah, we got a lot of new stuff.
We've got some new segments we're going to go over tonight as well. So prepare yourself.
When don't we have something new? We're just like, we need to constantly spice this up.
Yeah, I like
this is such a shitty podcast.
I like throwing against the wall and seeing what's going to happen. So we got some more education coming to people.
I don't like that phrase.
Throw things against the wall?
No, throw against the wall. See what sticks.
I think I thought it was throw spaghetti against the wall. And see
no,
what
because
sticks.
there's an actual thing where like if you take a noodle, it can't be covered in sauce already. Yeah. You throw it. We did it in the dorm all the time. You throw it at the ceiling. If it sticks, it means the starch has been activated. It's good to go. Yeah. But like when someone says throw at the wall and see what sticks. I don't want to know how that came about because all I can picture is like someone actually picking up feces and hurling it at a wall.
But it's just to like try something new, or like to find a new idea. Like how does that translate to that? I don't know. But we do have a word here, so we'll start with that word. Then we'll get into everything. So
hit it.
Let's go ahead and okay, all right. I'll hit it. Hit it now.
Hit it.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Your word is. Your word is
Katzenjammer.
Cat pajamas?
Katzenjammer. So it's Katzenjammer.
Cat pajamas.
Katzenjammer.
Katzenjammer. I did hear that you mispronounced last week's word or 2 weeks ago's word.
We did. We fixed it. We pronounced it correctly later on.
Oh, we did? Because my sister...
Because I said, hey, hold on a minute. This was wrong.
As a diehard rando... My sister did reach out, and she was saying, I'm seeing if she actually emailed in because I told her to, and then I gave her the wrong email address on accident.
We say it 4 billion times.
I don't understand. Anytime I talk to somebody that listens to the show, and I tell them, hey, you should email in, they always go, what's the email? And I say, we literally say it 1 billion times, like you said. But, yeah, my sister did not email in, it looks like. But
I do remember that because I was like, hold on a minute. Like, I definitely knew I said that wrong. Because I play the... I don't know how to pronounce these words off the top of my head, and I don't know how to read all of those pronunciation sheets.
Sure.
So I have the robot do it.
Yeah, but the robot doesn't always do it correctly.
Doesn't always do it. So
Katzenjammer.
Katzenjammer, and it's Katzenjammer. And the definition...
Sounds like a German word.
And the definition is a hangover. It's a severe headache resulting from a hangover. So it's just like a really shit hangover. Yeah,
we've
100%.
Been there. Wow. I remember, you know what's really funny about I definitely want to hear one of your hangover stories, but real quick before I forget, the last hangover that I had, I had gotten from running, there were these little like tablet type pills that are supposed to be like hydration type pills, and you throw one in your water bottle and then they'll like fizz and then it'll create like some extra hydration, I guess. I don't know how it fully works, how the science works. That pterodactyl again. So it came in this little tube. And so I opened the tube, and I couldn't, and I had my water bottle, and I was really hungover because I was like, okay, maybe this will help me.
What's in the tube? Is it a vitamin?
It says tiny little tablet, and it dissolves in your water, and it like adds some like electrolytes to your water.
Is it meant for hangovers?
It's not primarily meant. It's meant for just like recovery and hydration. But I was like, oh, maybe this will work with the hangover. So here's the thing: it came in this little tube, and it was like, so I opened the tube, and it's not really. I'm not understanding how it comes out, and then so I flip the tube over into the water bottle, and suddenly 7 of these tablets come out, and it's kind of like, you know how you put like Mentos with Coke or something like that, and it fizzes and explodes. So suddenly I'm getting 6 tablets worth of fizz in this water as it's dissolving, and I have to keep running to the sink and pouring out the water. Meanwhile, I'm super, super hungover. And I think this was the day after the guys hangout where we all went to the darts and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, that was rough, man.
I think that's what happened because I literally had these little tablets.
That's bad.
And it was terrible. I was already angry and hungover, and I couldn't get these little like tablets to work for hydration. And I was very frustrated because so you know how everybody has a hangover cure? Everyone's like, oh, you do this and do that.
It works every time.
Nothing's ever worked for me. One guy said, drink like a ton of Pedialyte before you go to bed. When you're drunk.
So we always keep Pedialyte in the house for that reason because actually Pedialyte.
Does it work?
It works better.
Didn't work for me.
It doesn't like work. it works in the sense of like.
But they always say do it before you go to bed and you'll be okay. But if I'm wasted,
drunk as
how am I going to think?
Sorry.
Wait, guys, before I pass out, let me go drink the Pedialyte like I was advised, and then I'll be okay tomorrow.
And people are always like, "Oh, just eat tons of greasy food." I'm like, "Hey, buddy, like the hardest thing to do in the morning is actually physically fucking eat something without throwing up."
Yeah, no, I don't. When I'm super over the next morning, I'm not thinking go great with this cheeseburger.
I'm sorry, for people that don't know me personally, so my body just it's like I can put away a lot, but my body doesn't process alcohol well.
Yeah.
So if I have more than like 3 beers in one day, I'll have a really bad hangover.
Sure.
And that's just because that's just how my body operates.
I've seen it in the flesh.
So it really doesn't matter if I have 3 beers or 40. Yeah. It's the result's probably going to be about the same. But I think one of the worst ones was I went down to visit my buddy Jake at JMU a couple of years ago. And there's always
James Madison University.
Every time I've gone down there, it's ended with me being hungover, and there's like a ritual because like we do the same stuff every time, and it just there are 2 particular stories that I have where I'm so dead.
And Jake refuses to listen to this podcast.
Yeah,
so he'll never hear this.
That's a bummer.
So feel free to talk as much about him as you want.
So we go down there. The first thing we do is. We couldn't find any Mad Dogs to chug or something, so we all got 4 Locos. The last time I had 4 Loco? High school.
Yeah, that's just dangerous.
We chugged 4 Locos. It was awful. And then we went to a bunch of different bars, all this other stuff. Towards the end of the night, I'm feeling good before I go to bed. Like, I'm feeling okay. I actually went and drank a thing of water. And Alex Millen was with us too.
Oh, okay.
And he was so much more drunk than I was,
or at least he normally
was acting way more drunk. So like I was like, all right, I'll lie down on the floor because like he took the couch and Jake went to his room, and Alex was like, "Don't worry, man, you're drunk." He started covering me in paper towels as like a blanket.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Stop,
stop!"
And I couldn't move off the floor. I was like, "Stop doing this, stop." And so I wake up. And it's funny, too, because, like, as soon as I wake up, my body and my head are like, let's go chuckle. Like, you ready? Strap in. Because it's just, I get racked with the pain. I have a headache. It, hurts to open my eyes. It hurts to listen to things. It hurts to move. So you just kind of lie there in a stasis. And eventually everyone, like, starts getting up and like, hey, we're going to go to this place called Zoe's. Super great food. The only thing is, I've only had it cold.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've probably only ever had it when you're, like, really hungover.
I've only ever had it cold because we go there. I'm wearing sunglasses. I have a hoodie. I'm stumbling because I can't walk very well. When they're driving, my head's out the window. So in case I vomit, I'm fine. We get there. We order the food. I smell the food. It's nice and greasy. It's great. I try to take a bite. I go to the bathroom, throw up. Come back, look at the food again, go to the bathroom, throw up. The waiter's like, is he okay? And they're like, he's fine. Just over and over again. And that's the ritual. We've done this several times.
You can't enjoy anything when you're in that mode. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, again, I think, but people always say it's like, once you reach that point of no return where you're already, like, hungover, you can't hangover. There's nothing you can do.
The quickest way to get rid of a hangover is to have an IV.
Yeah.
Because it forcefully hydrates you over the course of an hour.
That
is the only way. And unless you're super good friends with a nurse or have IV bags laying around,
man,
you're screwed.
Now that would be a connection. That would be fantastic invention is a home IV.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Oh, they have IV bars in New York. Hangover bars. It was like a pop-up thing.
Really?
And they would have people who like know how to like basically I guess like nurses go around and they give you an IV and you sit around and eat breakfast with an IV in your arm.
Breakfast?
And people leave like, oh, I started doing that to Ashley.
Oh, yeah.
In the mornings. And just first thing in the morning, I go, breakfast?
Yeah, I'm sure she's a big fan, just as I was.
Yeah, she hates it. She hates it. It's so great.
Just like the rest of us did.
But the only other like super, super terrible hangover was probably like, oh man, I don't know. There's so many because it just happens. The moonshine night here.
Yeah.
That day after.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about
Well,
this.
probably it took me 3 hours to eat breakfast.
Because you do understand that the older we get, the longer these hangovers will last.
So bad.
Like, they'll last days. Like right now, they'll last like a day, and you should be okay by the next day. Because I every time I get a hangover, I just think, man, just by the time I can go to sleep tonight, the next day I'll wake up and I should be okay again. But when you get older, those things last for like a week.
I don't know how at any point that we would consume alcohol on back-to-back days.
Ugh. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. But again, Katzenjammer.
Cat's Pajamas.
Cat's Pajamas is the
Katzenjammer.
Think about your hangovers.
Yeah, send in crazy hangover stories.
We would love an email. I will say
anything.
Any email would be great because we get emails every once in a while. We do have a call center later in the show, so we do get some emails. But we like some other.
We never get emails about stuff we ask for.
Mandy, my sister Caroline, email in. Again,
Ricky,
the random. Yeah, Ricky.
What about Will? Times. Does Will listen to the show?
Will listens to the show.
Does he?
He does, and he might actually appear on the Hot Chicken Night a couple weeks.
Will he? All right.
He might even participate. He might sit at the table with us.
I've been following him on Instagram and seeing his fashion posts and stuff.
He's good with fashion, man.
Or like he's like really good at the like very short captions, and you're forced to think about what it means. He's
you're exactly
it just says
right.
brothers, and I'm like, dude, kinship, what is this? What's the juxtaposition between these two people? Or it's a brick wall, and I'm like, nice, man, solid.
The best caption, because you know how some people go on for paragraphs in their captions. They tell
the
whole story.
Hashtag visiting sunshine summer camp. Hashtag.
The whole point of the that one guy that we know that works for a spam company where they'll hashtag literally 50 different things of live your own life. Hashtag
really
freedom. Hashtag financial.
I really wish that Instagram flagged, because I remember there are some sites where if you put more than 6 hashtags, it flags it as spam.
Yeah.
Because it's the only person doing this would be an advertising company.
Exactly.
A normal person doesn't need 50 hashtags.
Unless you're the guy that we both know. Baseball coach, buddy. Doing great job. All right, let's move on to our wonderful sponsors. And again, if you're a podcast listener, and I'm sure you are, if you listen to this show, you probably listen to others, and you've heard every single show will have their own sponsors, and we have some really special ones. We do things a little bit differently here with our sponsors. So why don't we go ahead and run through the first sponsor here. So here's the thing. You're at lunch, right? And you're thinking back to the days of sitting around the cafeteria table and hawking loogies at each other and yelling at the lunch lady. And man, you know what was the best part of that lunch experience, Salty Dalton?
What?
The Lunchables that you would get to have.
Yeah.
At those lunches. Well, guess what? You're an adult now. Can I really have a Lunchable at this point?
Well, normally no, but you're in luck.
Because we have made oh wait. I thought this was for. Oh wait, no, we are for Lunch Adults. Okay, I was reading the other one. Yeah,
we're actually advertising Lunchables.
We have made a product where you can have a Lunchable, but just for an adult. Bigger, just a little bit bigger. So it's enough food for a grown person.
You're getting normal portion sizes. You're getting full size candy bars. Yep. You're getting a real drink, all in a nice packaging.
Those crackers, you're gonna. You know how they give you the crackers and then the little meats and cheese. Think of those crackers, but double the size.
You're
bigger
basically
crackers.
getting pieces of bread, and it's fantastic.
Sourdough bread.
They're a new item out from Mattel, delving into the fast food industry, kind of lunches to go. Relive life as a kid while being an adult today.
Oh, I didn't mean to mute it that quickly. That was supposed to be a smoother transition.
That's all right.
What if that's how commercials end? It just
fade black.
We got another wonderful sponsor of ours, Salty Dalton. I believe you brought these guys on board, didn't you?
Yeah. To segue in, from the makers of Lunch Adults.
Yeah. They've been busy over there, haven't they, in the lunch factory?
Comes to you in an exotic way to enjoy your lunches at the work, at the classroom, outside, at a picnic. It's a way to bring a unique experience to your eating adventures. I'm talking about Lunchbox Boombox from the makers of Lunch Adults. Never miss a beat or a lunch ever again.
Totally a good idea. Having the music. It's a Bluetooth, right?
Yeah, it's a Bluetooth, high-speed sound speaker system. Attaches right to the back of your lunchbox, and charge it up the night before and go out and live your life.
Go out and live your life. It's true, man. What is it called again?
Lunchbox Boombox.
Lunchbox Boombox. So those are 2 lunch sponsors. We have one more here. Actually, 2 more. Unless you want to do one more. We have a couple.
I think we should. Yeah, whatever you want, man. We
okay.
can do whatever you want.
We have one more. We have one more sponsor here that we do want to mention. So, speaking of lunch, there's something here, Salty Dalton, that I think those who are on a college campus that listen to this show may realize this is because here's the thing: you're walking around college campuses, right? And you go get your food and you get your drink, and Salty Dalton, suddenly you're in a situation where your drink's in one hand, your bag of food's in the other hand. What's left over for combat? You ask yourself.
Well, you know what? It's an important question, and it's something our developers took very seriously in coming up with this new design. We're talking about the Belt Lunch Tray System, the BLT.
The BLT.
Not only is it named after an incredible sandwich, it is a revolutionary new way to carry your food. It is a collapsible tray that shoots out of your belt buckle. It has a drink holder, it has a tray for your food or boxes, and it's leaving your hands open in case of combat.
Specifically for that reason. Not just to leave your hands open, but specifically for combat.
We're tired of turning on the news, and we're tired of flipping through channels and seeing attacks after attacks on unsuspecting people
with
just
their lunch.
Trying to carry their lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane, and so we've come up with this system. We've tested it. It works. It's amazing. And never miss a lunch due to unexpected combat ever again.
What's the code that they can get this
The code is
wonderful
RWP.
device?
You put it in the shopping cart at checkout, and we're going to save you a whole 15%.
15
plus an additional attachment to your belt loop.
To the back. So you can also have food behind you for your
yeah.
friend that's walking behind at dog level. So it can actually be for dog treats.
It's called the Buddy Pocket System.
The Buddy Pocket System.
And it deploys out of your back pocket. Yes.
So again, that's code RWP
at checkout.
Please check that out at blt.com/randomwordpodcast. Well, you know, you hear about those tremendous inventions, Salty Dalton, and, you know, the makers of those really must have been smart people.
They were something.
So again, the makers of those inventions are really, really smart.
Yeah, they're intelligent people. They're probably top of their class.
Exactly. They probably invented a card company as well, in my mind, that probably did really, really well, too.
You could say it was before its time.
Before its time. I think
really,
one day cooler cards will rise again, I'll tell you.
It's a fantastic idea.
But from lunchbox holder things and big lunch adults and all that stuff, we now transition to two really beautiful minds. It's time for Fishbowl.
Dun, 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 dun. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh. Welcome to Fishbowl.
It is time for the segment that is sweeping the nation. Fishbowl. This is a chance to flex the brain muscles a little bit.
Flex on them. You heard it here first.
The biggest muscle in the body. The brain. The brain is that.
The brain is the biggest muscle in the body.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, the biggest muscle in the body, in your head. It's shaped like and it's got those two sides, and it's like this is the smart side and this is the creative side, and it's like you work them together, and then it's like, oh, you only use like 10% of this. It's like, okay, well then why?
Until you take the pills from Limitless.
Why don't we just cut off the rest of the brain if we are only using 10%? Maybe use a little more room in the head.
For storing food or nuts for the winter.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So this is a segment where we pitch our ideas. I would like, let's see, I'm holding a number behind my back. It's either 1 or 2. What's the number?
2.
It is a 2. Would you like to go first or second?
I will go second.
Okay.
I can go first.
No, I can go first. I have one. It's just not very good. I mean, by not very good, I mean, for me, that means it's like genius still, because I'm really smart. Here we go. Hey guys.
Welcome.
So
1 minute on the clock. Start now.
Really hot technology in today's society is virtual reality. Well, guess what? We are taking virtual reality
look at you.
to the next level, because there is one problem that is sweeping the nation, and that is the fact that there are kids that are the only kid in their family, right? One child in their family. Maybe the parents didn't want to have any other children. Maybe they just wanted to have one person to devote their life to. Well, guess what? That child sometimes will have some difficulty because they didn't have siblings, beating the crap out of them or anything like that growing up. Well, guess what? That can change. Slip on our virtual reality helmet, and guess what? Look to your right. There's your new virtual brother. Look to your left. There's your virtual sister. We're talking about Virtue Fam.
Virtue Fam.
Virtue Fam is the new product product where you get the experience of having a brother and sister, except for it's virtual. So you get all the teasing, all the bullying, everything that you normally get from a sibling in a virtual world.
Put on a helmet to have someone make fun of them. I actually, not gonna lie, I really, really think that's a really funny idea.
I think it is brilliant because, again,
virtual
what's the one thing
family.
You can always spot an only child because they don't really know how to take bullying sometimes.
Well, not even that, but like
you also could use it as like a friend. I guess.
Not saying like people who are single kid families, like nothing against them.
No.
But like you miss out on social hierarchy you learn about having siblings. And
there's a whole system.
Different dynamics.
Yep.
So I think it can be more beneficial to you to understand how to operate around somebody else.
Virtue Fam.
I like it. I really do like it. So do you get to design your own family, or are you randomly matched? Like you just dropped into some weird room?
You can choose. You have two options. You can either design, but keep in mind, no matter who you're going to design, they're still going to be mean to you because you can't choose your family.
Is that their only?
And that's actually
is that their only function? Is it just they're just mean to you?
They may
put on the helmet like "Sup, dickwad." You take it off.
They'll offer occasional support
in like trying times.
Yeah,
is it like when families truly come together, but like okay.
But for the most part, it is purely verbal abuse.
Okay,
and not like to the point where it's like dangerous, but more of just like, hey nerd, and then they can't give you a real noogie, but they can give you a virtual noogie.
Does the helmet vibrate?
And then the helmet will vibrate exactly. And then like there'll be just different pain receptors that you can strap to your body. So if they kick you in the butt or whatever it is.
So do you just put on the goggles purely just to get like insulted by them, or do you do like you go play games with them?
So you go in thinking you're just like playing games with them and participating just like you would with your normal siblings.
Put on the helmet, Saw 5.
So like for example, my brother and I,
there's a key behind your eye.
When we were growing up, we would play basketball all the time. Like we'd have a lot of fun, but the games would always deteriorate into a fight.
Yeah, well, obviously.
So it starts like that in the game. Is like you may be playing like a Wii Sport because it's like virtual. So you're playing like virtual basketball.
You're putting on virtual goggles.
Yes.
And then you're going to play
virtual games.
A game, but like, are you approaching a couch, picking up a controller?
It's all part of the package.
It just seems really like meta. So
it comes in with like 10 built-in games.
You put on VR goggles to have VR hands to pick up a VR controller to play on a screen that you don't fully see all of.
Correct.
Interesting. Okay. I'll give that probably like 4 stars for you. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's a really funny concept. That's got a lot of room for development.
I think, and I came up with that on the car right here. So take that, world. This brain, 100%. Using 100% of it.
I'll cut right to the chase. We're all trying to make money. We're trying to make a living. We're trying to establish a life for our family, our kids, or one kid who needs desperately to have a virtual family around him.
Sure.
One way we do that is jobs. Jobs are everywhere. Everywhere you look, jobs are hard to get. Sometimes jobs are easy to get. But the one thing all jobs have in common is interviews.
True.
You have to interview for a job. And you know what always comes before and after an interview, which normally makes or breaks your job interview experience, is a handshake.
Yep.
Not enough people know how to do handshakes. I'm introducing to you, for the first time, handshaking technology. It's called Firm Grip, the handshake practice system. Shake like a CEO today. It's an automatonic hand where you can practice handshakes. It will register moisture level, it will register firmness, it will register everything. Remember,
I kind of like this.
Firm Grip. Shake like a CEO today.
So does it sit on a little stand?
Yep, it's a free-floating hand. You'll go up. You'll practice it. It will feed to your laptop. You hook up to your laptop, and it will give you all the metrics of your handshake.
And it has an app as well, right? So you can get the readings
on
your phone.
And so it'll tell you if you're in the normal, like the high percentile for the firmness, if it was too long, how much moisture is on your hands, how your fingers felt if you gripped it the right way. And it's got intelligent feedback systems. It's the perfect way to hone your handshake.
I usually make fun of your ideas
because
they're dumb.
Yeah.
But this one, I think I really like. Because it goes back to something we were talking about before the show, is like the handshake portion of an interview is like a big deal for multiple reasons. It could be because your hands are sweaty, or just because like if you haven't, because like I don't know about you, but when you're
some people judge a lot of people by their handshake.
But also like when you're settled into a job, you're not really shaking a lot of hands at that point. Like you've been there for years, you're not every single day like walking up to people and shaking their hands for your coworkers. So maybe you're out of practice sometimes with your handshaking.
And before you have big business meetings, think about that. Every time you go meet a new client or something, it's handshake central.
And then you can change.
They're passing out that like candy.
And then the big key is you can change a switch on the handshake for the brother handshake.
Yes. Well, so one option you have is downloadable software where you can then design for secret handshakes.
Secret handshakes or handshakes from different cultures.
Yes, it has every different culture, all different languages.
Secret handshakes, I like that.
It will also teach you American Sign Language.
Oh wow, that's a feature that is incredible.
It is incredible.
Wow. I like this. What's it called again?
It's called Firm Grip.
Firm Grip. But could have come up with a better name.
Shake like a CEO today.
I'm going to give you 4 as well. I think that deserves 4 because I think it's basically on par genius level with mine. And I think we're both geniuses.
Yes, 100%.
If you're listening to the show and you would like to hire 2 geniuses, just let us know.
Please use ZipRecruiter, the nation's best way to hire candidates.
The randomwordblog at gmail.com.
Again, that's the randomwordblog at gmail.com.
So,
I thought that was a... Oh, Jesus, those squirrels are just like going Mach 6 to the 4. I thought it was a Chihuahua.
There's a lot of just things happening when we're outside.
Nature, man.
Because the basement's a very controlled environment. And then out here, we've got wind. We've got wonderful...
There they are. Holy... Oh, they're approaching the deck.
Squirrel fight. Yeah, they heard us talking about it. There's a lot of interesting things happening, but I like it. It's because the whole thing is back when we were doing the show on the porch. Anything could have happened on the porch, and anything.
We yelled at guys. We had the guys.
The mailman would always come in the middle of the show. It was great.
It was gross. It was sexual harassment. Hey.
So.
Whoa, gross.
We are going to move on.
Sound effects like it. Whoa.
I just I have like a wrong buzzer.
That's fine. I guess that sort of works. So if you were a little faster on the uptake, it lost all its comedic value about 20 seconds ago.
I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But what we are going to do is move on to a new segment that we're kind of going to feel out here on the show. We don't have like sound effects or things like that for it yet. But this segment is called Pilot House. The way this is going to work, because Salty Dalton and I are such geniuses, and you've heard us create many a movie, now we've decided to take those talents, and we are going to create a TV show pilot live here on the podcast. We're going to talk about it a little bit and get a new show idea. And then if you're listening to the show and you work for Amazon or Hulu or Netflix, or that weird one, it's like Sparkle or something. It's not Sporkle because that's the quiz site.
What?
The Cracker. It's called Crackle. You ever watch anything on Crackle?
No.
It used to be like the only place you could watch Seinfeld, and then they put it up on Hulu and all those places. Crackle exists as well.
Oh, Seinfeld's on Hulu now?
It's on Hulu or Netflix, one of those, yeah.
I was really in the mood for some reason to
it's on Hulu,
watch Seinfeld.
But if you work for any of those companies, just you can reach out to us, and we can talk about how much money it would cost for you to do the show.
Right.
How much you would pay us. So, Salty Dalton, I think the way this is going to work is let's start with an object, and then we are going to be able to form a pilot of a TV show because we are so smart, based around the subject matter of a particular object. And I would like, is that how you would like to do it?
I don't know, because we've never done this, but so we're going to make a show about an object?
So no, the object is going to be the inspiration for the show to get us thinking. So I have an object.
Okay, we'll do your way.
Sure.
So
did you have another way?
Let me just spitball something. So like an idea I was thinking for a show.
Oh, okay, so you already had an idea.
Sort of, just because we're going to do that way because we're going to see if that works better.
Sure.
But like see if we can flesh out this one too.
Sure.
So it's an elimination show. So you kind of like the shows like Are You the One, The Bachelor, like if you make it to the end, you whatever.
Yeah, like Colton, maybe Colton jumped the fence, and everyone's like, "Where the hell's Colton?"
Yeah,
and they're like, "We can't find Colton."
I also saw like some chick showed up in a sloth outfit.
Yeah, and then they do weird stuff when they come out of limousine. But literally, Colton disappeared. Remember, he jumped he was like, "I don't want to do the show anymore." And he jumped the fence. They're like, "Nobody's ever jumped the fence," and it was like, "Oh wait, you guys can do that?" And the guy jumped the fence and he walked away. And then this is all from the previews. I didn't actually watch the show. And then he was just like, "I just want to be loved."
Right. Yeah, that's how you get loved. You
and then
run away.
I thought he was gay, or no, he was a virgin.
He's a virgin.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Anyways,
this two are not synonymous.
This is an elimination show. Otherwise, I would have been gay for 21 years.
So kind of like that, or like Survivor, where you have to vote people out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so like, what if everybody on the show had a tattoo. It's not visible though, so it's like you find candidates that all have very small tattoos.
Okay.
And then you're told that one person in the house has a tattoo, and if you vote off, if the person with the tattoo makes it to the end of the entire whatever, they get like $1 million. So everyone with their tattoo is immediately like, I have to survive this. But then it said everyone else has to try to vote off somebody with the tattoo.
Okay.
Actually, I think it works better the other way around. Nobody has tattoos.
Nobody has.
You tell everyone that one person has a tattoo.
One, and you have to figure out who has it.
And if you vote him off, you get money. But if you're wrong, they get to survive or something.
Oh, okay.
And that way, it's just like all these people are like, who's got the tattoo? I don't have it. And then everyone there does not have it. So they're trying to find reasons to like figure out who has the tattoo. They're voting off people that don't have a tattoo, so they're gone. They're out of the running, and then it just gets like really cutthroat. I think it'd be
funny
really
if one of the seasons they screw up, they accidentally put a guy on the show with a face tattoo. It's like, who has the tattoo? Yeah, clearly Brandon does. No, I like that, and actually I have. So I think, like you said, and there could be different challenges that could present the possibility of the
one
tattoo
will be like
showing.
The beach trip, and like everyone shows up in shirts. Or something like that, or you make the mandatory outfit, or that way, if they do the beach trip, everyone's wearing bathing suits. Guess what? No one can see a tattoo.
And then
everyone's like, I gotta go look at that person's private parts to figure out if they have a tattoo.
And then there could be the situation where like two contestants fall in love and they like bang, and if you're naked, clearly you see the tattoo, and then they have the choice of whether or not to use that to their advantage and vote that person off because they know what's going on. So you never know, man. Anything could happen, and what's it going to be called?
And it could be the other way. Everyone could have tattoos, and they tell somebody that there's one person here without a tattoo.
It's like
you have to find them.
Off, who's got tats? Who tat instead of who dat?
Who tat's not bad.
Who tat? Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I think that's how we should play this segment because I also have a show idea. So we'll pitch these kind of back and forth to each other. So the idea that I had is we speaking of cooking shows because we all love our cooking shows.
Yeah, I like where this is going already.
But you know what is really hard to do is to cook when you can't see or smell the ingredients that you're using. So if your eyes are covered and your nostrils are plugged, and you have to, but there's going to be ingredients in front of you, and you have to basically create a dish and feel the ingredients, and whoever makes the best tasting dish from the ingredients is the one that wins that challenge. So
they don't have to cut anything, right?
No. And actually, maybe I'm changing it. Maybe they get to choose whether they don't get the sense of smell/taste or they don't get to see what they're doing. Because smell and taste is really important as well.
You think maybe...
we're just fleshing this out.
You know, I like where that's going because, like, I think you should be able to choose.
Yeah.
And that way you're not smelling the ingredients and you can't pick up the ingredients. So what you have is somebody else picking it up for you. And you just have to point and be like, I want that one.
Yeah.
And cut that one up for me, please. So there's someone who has to cook only by instruction.
Yeah.
And see how that turns out. And the other person can't be a good chef. Like,
no,
they
it
just
have to be like,
random Joe.
Yeah.
And the other person cannot smell or hear. So they don't know when the timer's going to go off.
Okay.
And then maybe, like, that person has to cook. So they have the advantage of seeing and feeling ingredients. Yeah. They don't know if they're burning it. They don't know, like, they can't hear any of the commands, stuff like that. That might be interesting.
I like it. Because I was thinking that, and then my other idea was...
It might be better just to forget about, the no hearing part. Maybe I think it'd be funny if... So you have, like, top super great chefs. They all have those hearing protection things. So they're just screaming. Because, like, just for funny.
Yeah.
And they have to instruct a bunch of people who have never cooked before.
Yeah.
And then basically they're training that person.
I like that.
And it's like
it's like with The Voice where it's the professionals and they take the amateur through the contest.
Pretty much it's like that. It's like
a
boxing. Like you're the boxing coach for this guy and you're going to bring him up to the
title
fight.
I think
so the last two people left, like they've developed them into somewhat good cooks, but they're doing it all through instruction. They can't help them at all. I think that would be interesting.
Pros and Joes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Cook-off.
God.
Pros and Joes cook-off or something like that. I like that because my other idea was instead of chili cook-off, it's the homeless chili cook-off, where they just take homeless people and they make their chili. Make
chili with them?
No.
What?
It's like, because you know how like you could make a chili with like all these different ingredients, so they use like ingredients that you would find on like the street, like a rat. It's called the homeless chili cook-off, and you got to just use whatever ingredients you can find just in your daily life without having to spend any money.
That'd be
interesting as well as like what dish you can make without having to spend any money. You wouldn't be able to steal anything, but there are places where you can get like a free sample or like
that would be
a giveaway.
Walk through Costco.
Yeah, exactly.
And
try to make a complete dish out of it.
That would be cool.
That's like high end. I think we're on to. I think
gourmet
the food
garbage, maybe no.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
No, I don't. It's getting closer.
But the Pros and Joe's cook-off.
I like Pros and Joe's cook-off. That's actually a very good one.
I think we should submit that.
I think that's a good show. I think we landed on one that's.
So as long as we come away from this segment with a good show idea, then we have done our job. So that is the Pilot House. Now we're going to get back to some education, because Salty Dalton. We're here at the end of the day to educate people.
Yeah,
and
we are.
We've given them this word, cat's pajamas.
Katzenjammer.
And they learned what that word was. And now we've got an opportunity to educate them even further, because we've got a special little segment here.
Buckle up, bitch.
And this segment is called...
Welcome in to Salty Dalton's Classroom Fun Time Full Body Learning Explosion, where I'm going to take a little tiny tidbit, a little piece from history, and I'm going to read it to you and kind of explain to you is music a little loud? It's a little loud for me.
No.
Am I screaming? It sounds like I'm screaming.
It's got 5 seconds.
Anyway, I probably should have waited until it was done.
That's okay. You didn't know.
It's fine. This is the first time I've ever heard this.
You were yelling so loud.
Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna take like a little tidbit from history. I got a little tiny, like 10 bullet points here. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna explain the concept of this. You can make jokes about it.
I have not.
Let's talk about it. It's a little tiny kind of funny thing for a little piece of trivia.
Yeah, and this was based around the episode where Salty Dalton told us about how that military unit used, what was it, Jolly Ranchers or
Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls.
They were airdrop Tootsie Rolls instead of ammunition.
Exactly. So that was kind of a fun bit. So we wanted to kind of take that angle and provide some history, some fun history or science, or basically anything Salty Dalton wants to educate on. So I'm hearing this for the first time as well. So again, this is Salty Dalton's Classroom Fun Time Full Body Learning Explosion. Don't know about the explosion part. That sounds a little weird, but it's okay.
Explosion.
Yeah, okay. Of the brain.
Brain explosion.
Brain explosion.
Learning brain explosion.
Sure. Do you want to do that over?
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go. I hope it's not too loud in your headphones.
Welcome in to Salty Dalton's Classroom Fun Time Full Body Learning Brain Explosion.
There you go. And
yeah, that's good.
Just know that. Hold on. Here comes the theme song.
Well, maybe it's all dance.
Yeah. It just does it like, I don't know, all of our friends. A lot of bright colors.
And then you got the guy on the piano at the end. They just pan out to him.
So what? It's
like an older guy too. He's got like the sash, but he's like smiling. Like
why everyone, are you still playing piano
loves him
for this kids show?
Right.
It's like, can't you get into the symphony orchestra? Like, I can't.
Okay, why are we just grilling this guy?
It's like, dude, what are you? Is this what you wanted to do?
Hey, grow up,
life?
Buddy. Grow up,
Gerald. All right. So what subject matter are we going to be talking about today?
So I'm going to explain to you the knocker-ups.
The knocker-up?
Knocker-ups.
Knocker-ups, okay.
So you know like knocker balls? Like those big inflatable soccer balls that we used?
Yes.
At my
yeah. That almost broke my back in half.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeves
did we post that video on the
Rando
podcast?
Watched that.
Did we post?
It was on some Instagram post, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're called knocker-ups. Yeah. So knocker-uppers, or a knocker-up, was a profession in Britain and Ireland. That started during the Industrial Revolution.
Okay, so this is a profession.
So this is profession. So this is in Britain and Ireland. It was mostly during the Industrial Revolution. So this is a time where like alarm clocks apparently did exist.
Really?
But one, they weren't cheap or anywhere near reliable. So literally it would be like Russian roulette with alarm. Sure. Be like, am I going to wake up at 8 today?
But were there a lot of people in the industrial...
Like Irish would be like, oh, am I going to... Oh, I'm late again.
Yeah, but were there a lot of people at this time that were like, oh, I got to punch in, 8 a.m.?
Well, like, that's
how
I
did
don't know
time
either.
clocks,
it's
work
like,
back
I don't
then?
know if they had... And I just... if they didn't... I guess they had clocks.
Yeah,
I'm assuming
they had to generally know what time.
So like they did have clocks, but I don't think everyone had a clock in their house.
Big Ben was around, so that's the only clock anybody has. Everyone wonders what time it is. I got to drive to the center of London. So, see, let me look up. It's the only accurate clock in London. Okay, so these are people that want to just generally get up for their day.
Yeah, so, and I didn't know how, like, maybe it's like when the sun rises, they just show up to work at some time when it's bright outside.
Wearing a tie, god damn it.
It's like, be to work early. I have no concept of what work was like.
I wonder what they're, exactly.
It's just
sitting at a desk made of stone.
So this is basically the time, so there are apparently some kind of alarm functions. Okay. They don't work that well.
Sure.
And they're super expensive. So, knocker-ups were hired. So these are people, they were hired to rouse sleeping people so they could get to work on time. So these are human alarm clocks. Yeah. So they often used batons or short, heavy sticks to bang on doors or long, thin sticks to reach windows on higher floors. Yeah, so literally like, they'd just be like, hey, wake up. Let's go. It's time to go, Jim. You're late. So they would just walk around beating on doors. Yeah.
Really? So they would take like
beating on doors and windows. Yeah. So these people would just roam the streets. I've got
a lot of knock noises. And
okay, this is
but
how much more is left of this?
Like 30 seconds worth. No, but
so and there were even several instances of some using pea shooters to hit windows with peas and small rocks.
Ooh.
So, okay, sir, you got a baton. You're going, wake up, wake. If you're,
because I guess. But
imagine a pea shooter. That's like throwing a piece of tiny gravel at a window, being like, "Oh, you didn't wake up? I used the pea shooter." Dink. Because then it literally would be like.
I'm sure a lot of people.
That's what it would sound like.
I'm sure a lot of people would like take this job, and this is their opportunity to get out some of their aggression. You know?
Oh, you're talking just bashing in the door, basically.
Exactly, like almost like a SWAT team every single time. To get
basically,
people up.
they like weren't so they weren't allowed to leave the client's window or door until they were positive that they had woken up.
Wow.
So imagine not only being woken up that way, but just continual beating on your door until you're like, enough! And you open the door and then it hits you in the head.
So it's like an alarm clock that doesn't stop until you officially are like,
yeah, it's a human alarm clock. And so like, so they wouldn't leave unless they were 100% positive that person was up. So like, I put here, like, how would a conversation go, like, between the person who's trying to wake up? Like,
sure. So
what if you didn't feel like going to work?
So I work for the Knocker Up service here. So tell us a little bit about what you're looking for from your service as far as you want to, I assume, get up early in the morning.
Yeah. I've been really late to my job at the factory.
Sure. The stone factory.
Yeah, the stone factory.
Yeah. How old? What time zone is
Industrial
this? Not time zone, but
so
time period.
The steel factory.
Yeah. Sure. The steel factory.
Let's say the
shipyard. So at the docks.
At the docks.
You need to get down to the docks.
I've been late the last couple days, and boy, man, my boss has really just beat.
And you've tried an alarm clock, and they're just not very accurate, I hear?
Yeah, it goes off once every couple days.
Couple days.
So it's just,
that is the trouble with the alarm clock.
Yeah, and if I miss one more appointment, I'm fired.
At the docks? You have appointments at the docks?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a doctor at the docks. I'm the doctor.
Oh, you're the doctor.
I'm the doctor.
That's interesting. So you're doctor.
Yeah.
And it sounds like I have a speech impediment.
Doctor.
That's just the name. And you need to get up early. So let me tell you a little bit about our service.
Well, not actually. They call me the doctor.
Sure.
I'm not actually a doctor. It's doctor, not a doctor.
Okay. That's slightly confusing, I'm sure, in your daily life because I don't understand it as well. So the point is you need to get up early. How early, typically? We don't really use measures of time except for that big clock that is over there.
Probably like early morning time.
Early morning. Okay, sure. So our service, we have a range of knocks from the very light tap to the almost cannonball through the window type. So we have I have a group of men that with these very specific skills.
So here's the thing is I want to be woken up.
Sure.
But I don't want to wake up angry. Is there a way you can kind of gently wake me up without stepping foot in my house?
Yeah, so that's not really what we do. We actually knock on your window or door There's really no gentle way to do that because our guarantee is you are going to wake up, otherwise you're dead. Like, you're a dead person if you don't wake up.
All right, but you guys aren't coming inside.
Because we won't leave until we know you're
right, but
alive.
you're not going to come inside my house.
It depends. Right? I mean, this is, what, the 1500s or something? So, like, there's no doors, really. They're not locked. If we can't even get a clock going, then there's no locks at this time. So, you can leave a key. You can leave a key for us, and if we still don't hear from you, we're going to need some sort of verbal confirmation that you're awake.
Is there a code word that you want to hear?
Yes, there is a code word. For us, it's syphilis.
Syphilis. So
that's the one we use. You just yell.
So
syphilis.
in order to get you to stop, I have to scream syphilis.
Very loudly. Yes.
Okay.
And then we will know that you're good. Otherwise, we will. If you have a window by your bed, we will also knock on the window, and we will be able to physically see with our eyes if you're awake. Except for Ed. He is actually blind, but he's works for our company, so you might have to still shout syphilis.
How does he get around? Does he go to the wrong house a lot?
It happens. This is, again, the 1500s, so, it's no big deal. There's no law at this time, but, he's just trying his best. So we, before we finalize this, so we, on a scale, we'd like to know what knock you would want on a scale. So here's some sample knocks. I've got a, so that's...
Okay, that's a hearty knock.
We call that like a 5.5.
Okay.
That's like around a 5. That's like a 6. It sounds like the same.
It's a little sharper, yeah.
It's a little sharper. It's
I don't know if I like that one.
That's very light, high-pitched knock. That's more of a 3.5.
That was better. That's more like...
This is like a 4.
Yeah.
That's like another like 5 or 6.
These are
kind
of similar. A lot of these are similar.
Yeah, I guess. And then there's like... That's...
Oh, that was a...
Yeah.
You know what? I like that one.
Wait, the one... Hold on. The one after this. So the...
Yeah, what do you call that one? I really like that one. That one's like...
Yeah.
That one's like somebody is impatiently waiting outside my door, so it's almost like somebody's expecting me to... like come over.
Yeah, that's funny because that's actually what we call it, the expector.
The expector, okay, because that kind of gets me. That it makes me feel like I need to go answer the door.
It's expector number 7.
Okay.
So we can write that down on your form.
That'd be nice.
Expector number 7, and again, you want to be woken up in the early morning, and the code word is syphilis.
Syphilis, got it.
Syphilis. So that will be 3 shekels. I don't know, what do they pay people back then? Shekels, rubies. Gold.
Monopoly?
We actually only take gold.
Monopoly money.
Yeah, but so the knocker-uppers. That's an interesting profession because I wonder how that interview goes. It's like,
but also,
so can you? Do you have hands?
What's their screening? What's their screening process?
That's true.
So and like, also if you got people walking around like in the middle of Ireland just slamming on doors, guess
Plus,
what?
unlucky neighbor. What if you're one who's like, I don't have.
Right
I work
next to
nights, so I don't need to get up in the morning.
He's gonna wake up more than just that person.
I do late night radio.
Oi, wake up! And just, come on, you fucking lazy bastard!
It's gonna basically wake up the entire because those people would like all live together, kind of in these hovels. So it's like you're gonna end up waking up the entire neighborhood at that point.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like, and what if you knock on the wrong doors?
Ooh,
like what if it's your first day on the job as a knocker-upper, and you're pounding away at this door. You are pounding your heart out. You think you're doing an incredible job. Someone opens up the door and they have like a knife or a gun, and they're like, "Get the hell off my front steps."
Yeah, that's true. Because then,
like, what do you do?
That scares you off the job at that point.
Yeah, or like, what about like a 3-story building? Guess what? You're not going to be able to get inside that building.
Yeah.
How are you going to get to that window?
You don't have the key code.
You're just scaling the wall, and then they're just going to see a face outside the window.
Those are the higher-priced knocker-uppers. It's again, there's a job for everyone.
Yeah, so they were paid weekly, and the price varied depending on, I guess, how often they were used.
Huh.
There wasn't a ton of data on. This is a very niche community.
Yeah, I was about to say. I wonder how long that lasted. It basically lasted until they figured out the alarm clock.
Until they're like, "Oh, we just need to find this
I guess I'm out of a job
thing, and we're good to go." And generally, most of the people that did this were of the elderly community. But sometimes
it's like Walmart greeters.
Exactly, or sometimes police or other kind of factory workers would supplement their pay.
It would be natural because they already have the baton.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They've already got the equipment.
They don't have to go buy it.
Yeah, but like, but mostly this is a geriatric community
just
roaming the streets, just roaming the streets,
doors.
knocking on doors or tapping lightly on windows.
Plus, I feel like it would be very alarming for a police officer to be knocking on my door as well. And like with me forgetting
I'm
that
like,
I
oh
purchased
God!
the service.
Or what if you had like tons of drugs? Like, oh God! He's like, no, I'm off duty. I'm just here to wake you up.
I'm just here to wake you up.
But I'll be back later for those drugs.
To make sure that you're awake.
Yeah.
Did you say syphilis?
Syphilis.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that it was like an army of old people.
Pretty much. And so
Wow.
this went on for a little while, but it blew my mind that this a job that you could have had was to go knock on other people's doors. And that closes out Salty Dalton's Classroom Fun Time Full Body Learning Brain Explosion. Join us
kids.
Next week for another installment of this show.
You gotta wait, let it play out.
And Terrence is on the piano. Thanks, Terrence. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Terrence. We appreciate that. So that is Salty Dalton's Classroom Fun Time Full Body Learning
Brain
Explosion. The brains are exploding. We got a couple segments left. So at this point, they've been educated on 2 things right now. So they really are getting a lot of education right now. We also are going to provide
full body education.
Yeah,
your face.
We hope you felt that through every.
I felt something over here.
Every bit of your body. Time for do's and don'ts.
Do it! Just do it! I don't think so. Just do it!
So, from education to now, a little advice. It is do's and don'ts, where we both give do's and don'ts to specific events that you may encounter in your daily life. So now, when you get that situation, you know what to do and what not to do. So, Salty Dalton, we're here in the middle of March. April is approaching.
Fast approaching.
It is almost time for the holiday of Easter.
Woo. Jelly beans.
Which means...
Dude, I am craving
there's jelly beans. There's Peeps.
I don't think you understand. No, I'm craving jelly beans.
Why don't you just go buy jelly beans? You're a grown man.
Because I'm on the no-sweet diet right now.
No sweets at all, huh?
It's been that way since February 25th.
Wow. That's
I have
impressive.
not had a single... The last time I cut out cookies in my diet, I lost 20 pounds.
Because that's like the majority of your diet.
Yes. And so it's no sweets, so I've had to like restrain myself. And you know what's weird is like the second you decide to cut something out, you start getting offered copious amounts of it. So people come to work and be like, God, I just have a ton of extra candy. You guys want some? And I'm like, yes, but I can't.
That's tough, man.
Ashley's coworker throws Twizzlers at her, and she loves Twizzlers, and she can't eat them.
Yeah, Abby's doing a no like cookie, chocolate, like no dessert type diet too.
Yeah, ours is no sweets.
But the problem is like I'm not doing that, so like I will still eat chocolate. I'll try my best to not eat in front of her. You know what dessert I've been eating a lot is pudding.
You know what?
I'm a big pudding guy.
I haven't had pudding in a while.
And it's the one that you buy at the grocery. That it's the swirl, the snack pack like swirl. So it's the vanilla and chocolate.
Yeah,
it's great.
That was the best kind because I didn't like just eating plain vanilla.
I've been eating a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with goldfish and a swirl pudding cup. And it's taken me back.
Yeah, dude.
You know the funny thing is when I did lose that weight back in college, when I lost like 40 pounds or 50 pounds, for lunches I would bring for my lunches I would eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich, some grapes, some goldfish, and a snack pack. And it was like that was the key. I don't think it was the key. I think the exercise was the key. But in my mind, that was the key.
Diets, generally speaking, weight loss diets, probably like 80%.
Yeah, but we don't want to give people good advice on this show. No. So Easter brings up Easter egg hunts. And these can be, depending on your family, can be bloodthirsty events. As far as competition goes, I know we would have an Easter egg hunt in our backyard, Salty Dalton. So let's give, I will tell the story, but we'll see if we get there because let's give our do's and don'ts. So why don't you start with your first do for an Easter egg hunt?
So my do for an Easter egg hunt is I see a lot of families putting Easter eggs in, so there's this 2-parter. 1, very obvious locations, and 2, with really lame prizes inside. So in order to kind of make this the most extreme, most entertaining Easter egg hunt, you're going to need to plant them all over your town.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go to the grocery store, and you're going to have to, leave them. You basically want your kid's head on a swivel 24/7.
Yeah.
Searching anywhere and everywhere in bushes, under
and don't just
houses.
end in one day. Make it like a month-long activity.
Yeah, you need to make this because you need to have some stake in the game, and you need to tell them that there's cash in these Easter eggs.
Yeah. Hide like $100 in one.
Yeah. So one time when I was younger, my parents kind of did a guess and check system, kind of like experimental testing. Sure. On how Easter went, and so we used to do Easter egg hunts, but inside we'd have a couple chocolates, some jelly beans, and be like, "This is." Well, my sister and I were just like, "This ain't floating our boat anymore," because like one time it was just like, "Yeah, we don't really want to do Easter egg hunting this year," and they're like, "Oh, we got to up the stakes," so they would put coins and money in there.
Yeah.
And then my sister and I would go savage.
Of course.
We would fight each other for them. And then my parents were like, you know what? That's dangerous. So they just decided to give us our own set Easter eggs to open in the basket. So we didn't have to hunt for them anymore. But we'd open them and they'd be like, that would be like our holiday money.
So yours is
for some reason we celebrated Easter more than almost like from like a present perspective.
Yeah.
I got like to be like, because at Christmas, you get some presents, but I would get
a lot of things on Easter.
A lot of things for Easter.
Yeah.
And it would just like, it just wouldn't transfer to the other ones.
Jesus' birthday. I think.
I got an Xbox 360, my first one on Easter.
Holy crap.
It was Easter. My mom's like, let's go get you an Xbox. And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, we got a lot of candy on Easter. So yours is, do extend the radius of the hunt.
Extend the radius and up the prizes, yeah.
So for me, mine's also kind of similar lines is, do make sure you're utilizing every type of hiding place beyond just, it's hiding behind this bush. We're talking get your shovels.
Bury that, yeah.
Bury the eggs, maybe carve out little secret compartments in the walls of your house. We're talking, again, step it up when it comes to the hiding because, again, it's hiding underneath this piece of paper. Like, that's not creative enough, but it's buried 10 feet in the ground.
Right.
In a lockbox. You
gotta work for it.
With a timer that the box will explode if you don't find the egg within a certain amount of time.
You know what? We should make an Easter egg hunt like a Saw movie.
Yeah.
So they wake up.
Yep.
And it's like, you need to find
they're like
Easter
chained
eggs.
To each other.
Yeah. And it said, one of these Easter eggs contains the key. The other 4 contain acid.
And you have to make your choice.
Yeah.
So my saying is do utilize all of your hiding capabilities, not just your immediate options.
Yeah.
What's your don't?
Don't for Easter egg hunts. Don't hide just Easter eggs.
Ooh, okay.
You're gonna want to hide
car keys,
a lot of crazy things.
A saxophone,
golf balls, like all sorts of stuff. But basically, like Easter eggs, pretty easy to spot, pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to make your Easter eggs actual items.
Yeah. Okay.
In that way, it makes it a little harder for the kids, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So like maybe like take their Xbox controller.
Yeah.
And hide
and say,
that.
hey, guess what? Your Easter egg hunt is now a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Go find your.
Don't find this, you will never get to play Xbox again. My don't is, if this is more for the hider of the eggs, don't lose count of how many eggs that you hid. Because what would happen every year in my family
Did we get them all?
we would find what we thought were all the eggs, and then we would turn to my dad, who was the one who would hide it. We'd be like, hey, so we found like 25 eggs. Is that how many you buried or hid? And he'd be like, oh, God, I don't remember. And then the next year's Easter egg hunt, you would find eggs that were hidden from the previous year's Easter egg hunt a lot of the time.
That's awesome.
And they'd be covered with like mold and just like disgustingness. And it was without fail. I bet if you went into my parents' house backyard right now and searched like through the grass and the dirt, you would find an Easter egg from like 10 Easters ago. So for the hider, maybe write down a number for the Easter eggs as how many eggs you've buried. Might just be a good idea for that. So that is the Easter eggs. What about our next scenario, Salty Dalton? It is a tricky one. I know you've been involved in these before with your various in-laws and things like that.
Kids' birthday parties. You see the video? Ashley
I
posted?
saw you on the big slide thing.
Yeah, so I tried to slide.
It didn't go well.
No, so I was wearing jeans, and jeans don't slide well.
That's not a good slide material.
So when I'd like jump full force onto that, it was a bouncy castle slide, and it basically, the physics of it it like flipped me around.
Yeah.
And I flew down that slide and hit the ground so hard.
Yeah, it didn't look pretty.
No, it was pretty painful. It happened twice, and then I stopped doing it. There wasn't an age limit, but there was.
So since you just experienced one of these, what's a good do for the folks at home that may have a kid's birthday party to go to?
Let's see. Do have cupcakes.
Yeah.
So the cupcakes are so easy to eat.
They are.
And they're freaking delicious.
Sometimes.
But like the traditional cake can get a little boring, and maybe you're stuck having to wait for a plate and you have to sit. But a cupcake you can grab and go, and you can keep sliding. And you can take that cupcake with you everywhere. I mean everywhere. No,
this is true. Yeah, I think cupcakes are usually a pretty good option. Plus, everybody can have their own individual cupcake rather than having to share a big cake, which sometimes kids get annoying about sharing. So for this, everybody's cupcake's the same. So there's really no arguments there. My do would be if it's your kid and you're the one hosting the birthday party, do take advantage of the numerous opportunities and locations for a birthday party. So most people do their standard birthday party. Oh, let's go to laser tag. Let's go bowling. But do understand that you could have a birthday party pretty much wherever you want, as long as there's cake,
that abandoned
or
warehouse
or whatever.
On 6th
Exactly.
Street? Yeah.
We're talking about abandoned warehouses, open parking lot. Like a crack den
in a crowded mall parking
lot.
Perfect.
Exactly. A really, really tiny restaurant that doesn't want you there. You can really host a birthday party wherever you want and call it a birthday party as long as there are hats and presents and some sort of cake.
That's incredible advice. Yeah.
So just remember that, folks, is that birthday parties were really wherever you make it.
I'm a fan of the airplane. So you book plane tickets for you and the entire birthday party.
Destination birthday.
Or they all book their own tickets. It's almost like a destination party.
Yeah.
And then when you're at the altitude where you can take off your seatbelt, you have a signal word, and basically everyone puts on their party hats. And not everyone, obviously, but there's gonna be a lot of business people who can be upset.
Yeah, really mad.
But then you basically you all put on the hats, and then you just have your birthday party. You sing happy birthday. You go meet up in different aisles and have cake, and maybe you play pin the tail on the sleeping guy.
Yeah, pin the tail on the flight attendant.
Yeah, that's a popular game.
That's a federal offense. You're going to be arrested.
There's a marshal on board.
That's a good one. What's your?
And the kid's name is Jack, so the kids are like, "Hi, Jack," and then they're like, "Oh no!"
What's your don't for a kid's birthday party?
Never hire a clown.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Clowns are 100%
simple and straightforward.
Okay. In fact, I don't ever understand the concept of how clowns were actually a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Because if you look back at old children toys and stuff from
I do that often.
Just basically every haunted doll is from an era where clowns came from. So I just don't understand how a clown's face is it's a painted sad face.
Yeah.
And they make balloons, and to me that's really creepy.
And sometimes they ride on really tiny bicycles.
Yeah, or they 9 of them fit in a car, and I don't know. If you're gonna have magic act, have an actual illusionist like David Blaine. You don't need a clown.
At one of the Sandwich Thursdays, we were thinking about how when somebody gets fired from the police force, and again, hand in your badge, hand in your gun, it's a clown that gets fired, and he just keeps having so much material.
Or
all right, and he's hand in your ribbons, and he's pulling all these ribbons out of his mouth, and then here's my rings, and they and then he's does the magic trick there.
Your flour, and he squirts the flour, and puts on.
He's you also had to turn in your company car, and there's 15 clowns in the tiny little car. Guys, we got to get out of here.
He says, and finally your shoes, and he takes off one shoe, it's a smaller size, and he takes off another, and another.
Just the longest firing process
that
ever.
would be a funny bit.
I think it would be.
But
a good sketch.
never take one to a birthday party.
Yeah, never.
If I'm a kid, and I don't think there was ever a clown at any birthday parties I went to.
Yeah.
But I never wanted to go to the circus, only based on the fact that there were clowns walking around.
Yeah,
I'm terrified of
them. Clowns are scary.
Yeah.
My don't would be don't worry about
a thing.
The age of the child that you're giving the gift to, as far as look, if you want to give a 7-year-old a shotgun or a bottle opener or maybe a license plate or
license plate, license plate holder.
Don't worry about the age of the kid. A gift is a gift. So whatever, don't worry about giving them little kid toys. Give a little kid an adult gift, and they'll be happy with it eventually. Maybe a good keyboard, or something like that. So don't worry about the age. of the kid. Well, worry about it in like all other contexts.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I did watch the R. Kelly.
Don't worry about how old the kid is.
But I mean more on the gift side.
That's a f***ed up documentary, dude.
It is.
Dude, that guy had like a mental breakdown.
There's a lot
in the
of
middle
stuff.
of like an interview.
There's a lot of stuff going on, but
I just remember him from when.
Oh wait.
Hold on. Yeah.
Right,
it says unknown.
It
says I'll take it anyway.
Sure.
Hello, Random Word Podcast. Oh God.
Speaking of that, real quick about phones. Listen to this voicemail that I got today. I'm gonna play it. No,
You're gonna play it? Okay,
I'll play it on the mic. Hold on.
Ever tell you about?
I'm gonna hit play here. It said it was from Ashland, Virginia.
You know what that reminds me of is Rush Hour. For some reason.
Yeah.
When Chris Tucker was trying to talk to when he went to China, to Hong Kong, and he was trying to talk to the ladies, and he was like, "Hey, I will sacrifice a goat for you."
Yeah,
it was the subtitles. It just reminds me of that.
Because I literally, so you get these phone calls, and then I get those types of voicemails like a couple times a week.
I get the one I get the most. So there's one voicemail. I don't know if I've ever talked about it, but it's like super crazy.
Yeah.
Because there's a wrong number. But the one I always get is like, it's like you pick up, you go hello, and it's like, it makes noises. Yeah. Oh, hey, sorry, I dropped my headset. Hey, this is Stephanie with, and I.
Which is like, why would that make you want to buy the product if the person that's calling you
because
literally is dropping their
headset? I'm going
headset.
like, hey, hello. Well, first I go, Salty Dalton, and then it's like you hear the muffling, and then they go, hey, sorry, I just dropped my headset. So I'm like, okay, I work with people who wear headsets from time to time. So I'm like, okay, that's normal. And then it's like, hey, I'm Stephanie with Blue Rewards points.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go away, Stephanie. No, I got this a series of voicemails. I just kept ignoring the call because I didn't know the call. And eventually, this is like a couple years ago, I went back and actually started listening to the messages because like I don't delete voicemails ever.
Yeah, neither.
And like my mailbox is full, and I'm listening to these things. And one was like, "Hey man, just want to reach out to you and let you know that your subpoena came through or something. You have to report to court on this date." And then the next one was like, "Hey man, really worried you haven't gotten back to me. It's gonna be really bad if you miss going to court. I don't think the judge is gonna understand." And then the other one was like, "Hey dude, court date today. I don't know where you are. You have to get here." And the last one was like, "Dude, you missed the court date. I don't know what to tell you, but the judge made his ruling, and there's nothing we can do now."
That's incredible.
And then he called again, and I answered, and I said, "Hey dude, I'm not I'm not the right guy." I was like, "It sounds really, really crazy. I'm so sorry." And the guy's like, "Oh no," and he hung up. But like, it was an escalating series of voicemails where this guy was like, I don't know what he was in trouble for or what he went to court for.
He was on the run at that point.
Yeah, like at this point, he either on the run or maybe he's in jail now.
Trying to reach Orenthal James Simpson. OJ. That's OJ Simpson.
Oh, God.
That's his real name.
Orenthal.
Orenthal is a tough name to say. I couldn't really say it. So this is Call Center, Salty Dalton. This is where the people can reach us. The randomwordblog at gmail.com is the best way to do so. We've got a couple candidates here before we wrap up the show that have reached us and have asked us some questions, topics, things of the like. Let's start with Marcus, 26-year-old, just like both of us. His subject line is Generation Gap. Trying to go back to college to get my degree after a long hiatus. So 26. So yeah, he probably had a couple years off.
Well, first of all, congratulations.
Yeah,
because you're never too old to go get.
You're never too old.
Yeah,
that's the thing they trick you. It's like the fact that you could literally get a degree.
They make you
whenever
feel
you
so
want
bad, and they're just like, you need to go right after high school. I was like, dude, I've been in classes with a guy who served in the Army. Is coming back. He's like, yeah, it's getting paid for my GR bill. The guy's like 32.
I would be a much better student now than what I was.
Hell yeah.
100%.
The dude was on point, and he's just like, yeah, I'm here to get a degree. What are you here for? And I was like, after not showing up like 6 classes, like, you know what? You're right, man. Like, I'm sorry, but like you,
like me at 20,
it is perfectly
me at 22,
okay.
Going into a class is very different than me at 26, who like I'm actually like reading history books
the
now.
money behind it.
Yeah.
And I'm like reading fiction for fun.
Yeah, exactly. So he's going back. He's going back to college to get his degree. How can he fit in with his younger classmates?
Now, that's tough.
So he's 26, and as you and I both know, being around that age, is the college community right now. Like as far as like the people that are in college right now, like my brother and things like that, it's very different.
It is. It's
like social media wise and things like that.
It's a lot of yeets and a lot of lit fans.
There's a lot of terminology that I don't know.
So much. So one thing that you can probably start to do is why don't you go hit up Urban Dictionary, Marcus?
Yeah, that's a good place.
And you're going to need to catch up on all the new lingo because you're going to have to, I would download Imager, understand what all the memes are.
You're going to need to get a Twitter account as well.
Yeah, it's a different world and you need to be prepared. So as long as you can kind of name drop some relevant kind of like catchphrases or just like current kind of type events of like stuff that maybe younger generation is
you're going to need to study up, man. You're going to need to kind of follow World Star Hip Hop.
You'll fit in just fine.
The Shade Room. You're going to need to find these different social media accounts that will report about, these celebrity stuff and get that education. Yep. And that will help you out.
It will, because half the thing is just knowing how to respond.
And then you can casually drop, like, you don't have to come on too strong, but if a couple of your classmates are talking and you go, yeah, I also heard about what Meek Mill said.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, this guy's cool. Or be like, yeah, Nicki Minaj's butt is big. And then they'll be like, hey, man, we're not talking about that.
Don't worry about her age, man. And then they escort you out of the classroom.
So just do some research, Marcus, but research in the right places.
But you just don't feel ashamed that you're going to college later because
you're honestly going to do better, probably.
We graduated, I think there is like, when you look at the masters folks who graduate, and especially at Mason and JMU, when I went to go watch my buddy's graduation too, there was someone who's like 72 getting their masters, and like the entire like stadium was like, "Let's go!"
Again, I feel like I am a much better student now than I was.
Yes, if I went to college now, would crush it.
Yeah,
we would have not had nearly a bad freshman year as you and I had.
No, not quite. Who's next on our call center this evening?
So we got Franny, 32, gifting internationally. Currently traveling a lot lately. What's a unique souvenir I can get for family and friends that isn't cliche? So probably no magnets or those little keychains with your name on it.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, if you want to ball on a budget,
I
think if you're in a different country, first of all, different items have different meanings.
This is true.
So kind of like how people are like, oh, just bring me back a rock. If I know it's from Croatia, it'll be a really cool memory. Basically, all you have to do is
can save the money, not even go to Croatia.
Find really cheap stuff.
Yeah.
And then make up a story about it. Be like, hey, when I summited this mountain.
Yeah, it's all about the story.
When I summited this mountain, this man came out of this hut and invited us in for tea.
Yeah.
And as part of the tea, he let me keep this cup, and it's just a regular teacup.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's like it looks kind of more like.
And he handed it to me.
It's like a handmade teacup.
He handed it to me. He kissed me on the back of the hand, and then he disappeared into thin air and dust.
It was like Obi-Wan Kenobi when his robe collapsed.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happened.
And so and then hand it to him and be like, that is literally priceless.
It is.
So I think
it's all about the story.
It's about the story.
Yeah.
You really you don't need to break the bank here. You go to the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
gift shop,
or even their gift shop, or just a random shop and buy a fork or a utensil.
Yeah.
Come up with a crazy story. You're spending like $5 or francs or euros.
When you're on the airplane, I'm sure that you ask for a pair of utensils that they have, and then just rub it in some dirt, and then be like, "This was the fork of a ancient temple, and this is the fork that they bury this fork in honor of their god."
And if you're really strapped and you're international somewhere maybe they drink a lot of tea or something.
Sure.
Open a couple tea bags that you get in the hotel. But keep them free floating like that. Cut off the string, and then say these are like very ornate teas I bought in a remote
it says
area.
Lipton. It says Lipton on it, and you're like, but it's different over there. Yeah. Lipton is like it's a different thing. It's not the same.
It's about the story. You're right.
It is.
So come up with a crazy story, and you can hand them anything.
No, I think you're right. Last one here. Katie, 30 years old. Her subject line is old age. She says, just turned the big 3-0. Hey,
30,
Katie.
30.
The other day, and honestly don't know what type of party to have. I feel like I'm too old for a rager, but young enough where I can still do fun stuff. Any ideas for a hybrid young and old party? So you and I are, 3-4 years away from this, which is crazy that we're still in this kind of weird middle ground.
Yeah.
Because nobody cares about when you're 25, 26, 27. No, those aren't important birthdays.
No, it literally goes 16. Well, first it goes 13 because you're a teenager. 13.
16.
18, legally an adult.
21,
then 30.
And 20. Yeah, but 21 I feel like is more important than 20.
21's way more important than 20.
And then 30.
Because
you're
20 you're just like, I'm pre-21.
Yeah. So 30. So Katie's turning 30.
So blending old and young parties.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a couple different ways you go with this. Maybe you have a really young themed, kind of like a kids party, where you have, maybe you have something like Pin the Tail on the Donkey, but you have a bunch of fun little party games, but you turn them all into drinking games.
They're the adult version of it, yeah.
You adult version kids party games, and you have to wear the hats, and it's themed.
And so the punch, it has alcohol in it, and all that stuff. And then, because we did that once, Abby and I will buy board games, and they're board games that, we have that one that you play that one time where it's a betting game. It's not really meant to be a betting, children's game because it's a game for kids, but we would use the betting to be sips of alcohol.
Yeah.
And you could bet with that. So that game is entirely a children's game, not meant to have alcohol involved, but you can turn it into that. You can turn almost any game into a drinking game.
Also, and if maybe you can't rage like you used to.
Sure.
But you still want to seem young. So how about you just go... You start your party at maybe 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And that way you go hard in the paint. You're super drunk or whatever by 5.
Sure.
Guess what? Everyone else who's with you, they probably want to go home at some point too. You go your separate ways. You're not getting back at 2 a.m. You raged like a 20-year-old you.
Till 9 or 10 p.m. and then you're going to bed.
And then boom, you're in bed. So start early, finish early. Get super drunk.
That way you can still say, we went hard. It was birthday. Oh yeah, we were taking shots.
You could do that. You could have a crazy party in 3 hours.
I like this.
And be blackout, and then wake up, the next day, having almost 24 hours of sleep.
So Katie, start earlier,
finish earlier,
but
drink more.
Kids party related activities. Add a little adult twist as far as adding alcohol and things like that. Not that you have to have alcohol to do the party, but adult it up a little bit, and that will be what you need to do. So episode 29 is in the books. Salty Dalton.
It's not the season finale.
No, season finale coming
apparently
next Thursday. And then again, the way this will work is next Thursday you'll get a brand new episode.
Wouldn't it make sense though if you capped each season with that best of for the 30th, and then you start from 1 instead of start from...
Yeah, that's the thing. You cap it at the 30th, and then you start with 31.
But the best of is its own episode. No,
the best of is its own. Yeah, the best of doesn't count towards the episode numbers. That's why.
That's where I was getting confused.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I was counting it. That's why
I'm glad we've come full circle.
That's why I said we have to make this our finale if we're gonna have 30 be the best of.
So this week is 29. Next week will be 30, and then the week after that we will give you the best of.
Dude, 30.
And we'll give you a bonus content on Friday. We are going to be doing a recording, so you'll get that
for those of us that
some point over the weekend
and donate money to us. Thank you, sponsors on Venmo. Please Venmo us if you'd like to get access to the bonus content.
Yes.
What if that worked?
Because that would be incredible. So what we are going to be doing in 2 weeks from tomorrow night, we will be doing the Woo Boy Hot Chicken. Yeah. It's not really a challenge because we're going to be having a discussion throughout.
What do you call it? Masochism?
It's going to be like a session. It's going to be you and me, possibly Will.
Like a self-torture session.
We're going to be having a discussion while we work our way through the various levels of Woo Boy Chicken. And again, it goes no heat, level 1, level 2, level 3, code red, code blue. So those are, 6 levels worth.
One thing you could also try to do is we read parts of scripts to each other.
Oh,
while having to
our
eat
favorite
this.
movie lines and things like that. I like that. So we will look into that. We got a couple weeks till that. So again, normal show next week, hopefully, unless one of us gets sick and dies again. The week after, you will get your best of episodes 30.
Best of
episodes 21 through 30.
Yes.
And then you'll get some bonus content. So we got some big things planned here on the show. And again, next week, the season finale of season 3 of the Random Word Podcast. So, Salty Dalton, any final words before we head out into the night? It's just now getting dark now, which is so great. I love this time of year.
God,
it's fantastic.
This weather may disappear next week, but oh man, have I missed not being so cold that my nuts go inside my body.
That's what we wanted to hear.
Yeah.
On this show.
Yeah,
so what's our final piece of thoughts or advice here before we take our leave, Salty Dalton? They've learned a lot. It's been a wonderful day at Random Word. A wonderful
You want the
day.
moon, Mary? Throw a lasso around the moon.
What's the piece of advice for the children at home? Gotta give them something.
You can put a little sugar in water when you put flowers in a vase, and it generally helps it last a little longer.
Okay.
Because normally your flowers, if you buy, they'll come with like a store-bought plant food, but essentially that's kind of just like a little bit of glucose. So you can put a little bit of sugar in the water that you put your flowers in, and they should last longer.
Pour some sugar on me if I'm a flower. Go ahead and do that.
Rub it all over your body.
Put sugar in your flowers. That's what the advice was. That is Salty Dalton. I am Ben. Sayonara, my sweet suckers.
Sweet howdy.
Robot.
Goodbye.